these three at the very top, Keap is created by default in everybody's application. The save groups of leads, clients, other, and no contact type. You can see that right here. Other, no contact type. So this one, leads and clients are all default groups from Keap to help you kind of segment, but it's not the only way. We also have field data. On the right-hand side of the contact records, when you click on edit, it's going to show you every standard field that you have within the contact record to use. Every standard field, every field can be used as a segmentation point, right? What do they have in that field? Do they have anything in that field, right? And every variable in there, right? So that's one option. Then you have the ability of creating custom fields. Everybody's application is different. You either have 100 or 150. This application's only got 100. There's no way to get more than the ones that you got on your list because it has to do with the application design. It's not like you buy more, right? So the amount of custom fields you got is it, which makes custom fields really, really cool and very, very valuable, right? When you're creating your custom fields, when you're managing your custom fields, you want to make sure your custom fields are driving towards revenue, towards closing a deal, towards making money. Because if it's not, then why are we collecting it, right? But you can see here what's important with custom fields is the type. You can see here there's a text area that's a drop down. When you go to create your custom fields, you can change the name of that custom field whenever you want. It's totally not a big deal. Super easy. You can't change this field type. Whatever you select, that's it. You have to delete the field and recreate it if you mess it up, which sucks. So be very mindful, right? Really look at it. Because the way you make this type is going to change the way the data gets reported on, the way you can search it, the way it's going to display. And that's going to be very important if you want to export it out of Keap, right? If you do make a mistake, if something happens and we have a bunch of people with information in that custom field, it's also not the end of the world, right? What we would do is we would do a contact export, isolate that custom field along with the email address and the name, and we would export that. That would create us a CSV. We would then in Keap delete that old custom field. We would recreate the new custom field using that same name, but with a different type, the different variables, right? Or however way we want. And then we would essentially re-import that contact CSV back into Keap. When we re-import into Keap Pro here, as long as we have the same email address and name, it won't create a duplicate contact record. It'll see that. It'll be like, yo, what? And then it'll update any of the new information that we're adding in. Keap is that smart. So really feel good about exporting, importing, and being very fluid with that, okay? Now, as you start to add these custom fields, as you start to manage it, you're going to want to create your own groups. When you go to groups here, you click on the create a group, and it's going to ask you for your filters. These filters are those fields, those tags, those custom fields, everything. You can see here it gets intense, right? You saw how far I scrolled, right? I mean, that's chunky, right? It's pretty awesome. I love how in-depth you can get this thing. What's cool about the filters is you can make them super in-depth and have multiple filters and whole bunches of steps. Or you can keep it really simple. It depends on what you're looking for. It's just, you swim as deep as you want, right? Let me just find one here. Oh, here, let's do this. Let's just use this one, right? Let's say we wanted to make a group and we're saying, hey, in our database, we're trying to find the different adventures people are looking for, right? I picked the one with the hardest name, evidently. So we have these three different options here. And we would say, oh, we would want to make a middle for a group or a AOE or a Brownu. Braun. All right, I'm just going to say Braun. The bro one. All right, the bro one, the owl one, or the middle fork. That's what I'm going to say, okay? So what we would do is we would select that option. It would display here the number of contacts that we have in that custom field, right? With that option, and we would be able to name that whatever we want. We could literally name this like the jerk face campaign because no contact will ever see this, right? We're not gonna, but I mean, we could, but we're not gonna, right? We're gonna name these ones middle fork. Okay. Once you save that group, it'll get added in your listing of your groups here. Middle fork. You click on that, and it'll show you all of the contacts that enter into that group. Because the only criteria that we're using is that field, that means it's evergreen, right? Anybody new that gets that value would get added into your group. Anybody on your group that changes and gets that value removed would automatically drop out. So groups are just really cool segmentation points in there. Now, I just talked to you guys about the importing of context. Exporting of context is super easy. When you get to your group, your type of, your group of people, your type of people that you want to get rid of, click on the select all, and this opens up a mass actions button. So that's what you're seeing down here, right? So I can mass tag people. I can mass change that contact type. I can mass send them an email broadcast or a text broadcast, add them manually into an automation, export, and delete. The other data point used for segmentations is this tags, right? You have the completely unlimited ability to create as many tags as you want. If Diana wants to have 30,000 tags, by God, we're going to get her 30,000 tags, okay? Like, now, I mean, I'm not saying you have to. I wouldn't suggest having 30,000, but you can. It's really, really unlimited. Tags are just a label. They're just, like any label, Lenovo, Nike, Apple, Google, right? It's just a label. We name that label whatever we want. But that label can only be added onto a contact record once. Oh, Jim's got to bounce. All right. Thank you, Jim. It was great hearing from you again. If you have any questions or need us, just reach out to us, okay? Appreciate you, sir. But about these tags, right? So these tags are labels. We make the label say whatever we want. But what's cool about tags than fields is tags can only be applied once on a contact record and then they stick, right? With fields, they're kind of like a dry erase board, right? They have no historicalness to them. If they fill out a form again and they put something new into that field, it's going to wipe away the old stuff and put away and fill it with the new, which is good. But tags are cool because once that tag is applied, it's there. We can track it. That gives us the ability of using it within automations, right? When we apply that tag to a contact record, that can start or stop an automation. Very, very powerful. When they fill out a field, within the contact record, when you update a field here on the right-hand side, that don't do nothing, right? If I go over here to my contact record and I update my job title to head of bird management, and I save that, that won't do nothing. Right? That just updates the contact record. That's not going to trigger an automation. That won't do anything that's going to visibly provide an engagement. What fields do are for personalization, right? They're for making content more specific to that person. So when I would send out an email here to Sergio, I'd say, hey, Sergio, how's your job working as the head of bird management, right? I would be able to reference that in the email to make it more personal. And then maybe I send it to Val and say, hi, Val, how's your job at being awesome at everything, right? It would change for each contact individually. These tags are not customer facing, right? So we could literally name that tag the jerk face tag, apply that onto our jerk face tag, contact. They would have no idea. Never, not in a million years. They would never see that tag. Make sense? Little differences between the systems?
I think I might be a little confused still. when it comes to, I guess, filters versus like tags, whenever I put together, like whenever I've segmented our clients, the way that I've done it is I've always gone into like create a new group, and then I would go down all the way to the very bottom and pick tags and then segment them that way. I've never understood the the doing that versus like, I guess, going to create a new group. Let me just do it now so I know what it asks. Create a new group, add a filter, right? So all of these other filters as opposed to like going right to tags.
It's different flavors.
Okay, so there's no like specific. I just don't know the difference like between doing it that way versus like this filter way.
The only difference, well, tags are filters, right? So tags filters are just what data point you're looking in, and tags are just that tag that data point that you're using. It's not anything wrong doing that way, right? The only thing that it could be doing is that you're making maybe redundant work. If you're collecting in one of your fields that data point that you're looking for, there's no, if you're not tying it back to automation, there's no reason why you need to create a tag. That's just creating additional work for you, right? Because you'll be able to reference that field and then the value inside of that field to make that group if you wanted to, right?
Mhm.